The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Monday, we are back together. Bye week blues are over. Actually, it was kind of nice. You are
Victory Monday.
No loss Monday.
Yes.
You are looking live at Tostitos Championship Plaza outside Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, where they have a big green lift out there. I wonder what they're about to do.
Christmas is around the corner.
I'm glad you're up on it,
Oh,
Shannon.
yeah. 78 degrees. The high today is 83. The low tonight is 64.
Glad Shannon up on it, man.
He is Nate.
That's all right.
This is my boy Three Pumps.
Hey,
this is Shannon.
hey.
Chris is in the back keeping us live and local. I am Salt and Pepper Poppy. Josh, if you're watching, this is how it's done. I am Salt and Pepper Poppy. Together we make Hanging with the Boys, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel us when we speak.
Brought to you each and every day by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Yes, we do.
And thank you to Wingstop. They are bringing in the groceries on Friday. Get your order in, Kurt.
Nice. Yes, get your order in, Kurt.
All right.
Ain't gonna leave
We
you
just
out, my
found
boy.
out that there'll be some absentees on Friday, so have a good show, fellas.
Have a great one, man.
We'll hold down the fort.
All right. Man,
Me and my boy here, we all good.
y'all got it. Y'all got it. It's your show. How y'all feeling? You feeling nice and refreshed, recharged? We didn't have to talk about how sorry these Cowboys are this last several days.
I feel good.
Nice little break, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Nice.
necessary.
I didn't even watch football yesterday.
I didn't watch the snow.
I just got away from it. I was traveling all day. Couldn't
So,
watch, but
so you mean to tell me the Cowboys not only affect their players like coach that get away from football, even the announcers and the guys that bring. Wow, I'm sorry I watched.
did y'all watch?
Yeah, I watched.
Some good games.
Hey,
Yeah.
Some
Red Zone, man. Red Zone that's a great thing.
I'm glad you brought up Red Zone because we're going to talk about the Cowboys' Red Zone problems here in a minute. But going into the bye week, Jesse, you had a great observation as a former player, and you said basically if they don't change and shake things up and don't do things different coming out of the bye week, that you basically the players are going to be like, it's not going to have an impact on the players positively, right?
Correct.
And Coach McCarthy has come out of this week saying that they're going to start tweaking some practice with more team drills, and then also going back to across the hall meetings where offensive and defensive coaches meet to talk about the other side. So first off, what does having more team drills do? Is that a big change like what you were talking about? Or were you needing more than just these two things that he brought up? Or is this a good first step as a player? Would you come back and be like, okay, we're changing some things. We're trying to make progress. We're shaking it up. And then what does it do, the team drill part?
I think, excuse me, because the NFL and NFL teams have come to this new place of time being capped on how much time you can actually be on the football field. Each period has a certain amount of plays in it. So I can only do a certain amount of things in this time frame. So by them eliminating individual drills, it just now means there's a more emphasis and focus on team stuff. So when you hear all about the discipline, the assignment alignment, the communication, all those little things, they're just finding a new way now to get more time to address those issues. Now, does that make a player move? Maybe, maybe not. Because that now will require players to actually do more in practice. My biggest thing was when it comes to the players and how you get them to look at the second half of this season differently is not just our practice approach, because they've all said the energy's been there. The effort's been there. Somehow, some way, the knowledge just hasn't translated from that to their minds to the football field on Sunday. But it's schematically. It's what we're doing, a change from this part of the season than what we were doing the first half of the season. I think that's where you get players to kind of either re-buy in or buy in more or tune you out. Because if they have the same outlook as they had coming into the bye as they do coming out of this bye, then we'll be right back to square one before you know it.
And so what we're talking about here is, just to add on to what Jesse's saying, is now they may go more team red zone and make sure sometimes you have to stop the practice, say, okay, these are the possible looks you would get. This is what we expect for you to do down here. If this guy should, and I'm talking about more with the receivers and tight ends and running backs, because it's going to be tight for us as linemen. It's just inches for us. But those inches coming into the red zone is so small for a wide receiver, these windows, and how much feel you have to be precise. Mm-hmm. The quarterback has to know. Or you may go into the open field and say, hey, this is the down and distance we want to work on a little bit more. This is where we need it at once we cross the 20 into the red zone. And then some people call it something else once you get down to the 5-yard line. They may want to emphasize that a little bit more. Just taking away from the individual, which you start losing now, is the technique. And where individual, I think, is so big for our offensive lineman, is this is where the coach is trying to emphasize your weaknesses.
That's a good point.
Yeah. They're trying to emphasize your weaknesses. So, but now some things we have to take for granted. I've shown you this since OTAs, these same techniques. We got to get into the larger scale of things, of being more precise on this goal line in short yardage. If I'm the Cowboys, I start making a run right now. If you third team and I ain't going to use you, you ain't going to be used out there. I'm serious. It ain't going to be no more reps for nobody that ain't somebody. If you are not somebody and you're not going to be on this field, it's time. It's the 6th game or the 7th game?
7th.
7th? You know who you are. You're not very good. You got a poor offensive line. You got a poor defensive line. You got to start catering to that.
Give them all the reps
and fixing that right there.
Does this happen is this sort of par for the course for any season, any team, where you kind of start out more individually as you work on that technique, and then once that comes along, then you move to more team stuff?
See, when you're in a flux, we're in a flux with 3-3. And we don't know whether we are good 3-3 or a bad 3-3. What our opinion in here probably is a bad 3-3 because of the losses has been just heartbreaking. Yeah. So you got to start. It's up to your individual coach to fix these individual attitudes. But what's happening on this field is the head coach and the coordinators. They got to fix what's on this field, and they got to translate it to the coaches and get it to the players as quick as possible. That's why Coach saying he going to the practice. I'm going to practice you more team-wise. I'm going to practice you more red zone-wise out in the field than individual, because we got to get these situations down to a science. When you got guys that's running half-hearted routes, or you got guys that's not taking the proper steps and stuff like that in these key situations, that's what win games. Down and distance, the team that can play the down and distance, and the tighter the game get, the more you can focus on this down and distance or this situation, the better you're going to be if you have the players. I think at this time here, just my 5-6 game, I'll tell you how I feel. Mm-hmm. We don't have the players right now. Just my opinion. We just don't have the players.
So this is will this help? Like I think you kind of mentioned it, the discipline factor of it. Those team, I don't know. I guess in some ways I see that the technique, the individual things would help the discipline issues that they have. But you're saying no, as a team, we need to develop that better, I guess. We'll do that better together.
But I think this is unique in the sense of, again, you by rule, you only have a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. So it's either, to Nate's point, we just say, listen, man, we've tried to show y'all this is OTA as far as technique. If y'all either got it or you don't.
Right.
But we have to put a emphasis on what we're doing as a team. That's what we've been lacking. So you basically kind of sometimes, cut off your nose to spite your face in this situation. And you can only hope that now guys individually are saying, this is when the good players step in and go, hey, fellas, yeah, we didn't get individual today on the coach's time, but after practice, how about we stay out there another 20 minutes and work on our individuals, right? Now, a coach can stay out there with you after that. That's you on your own, right? So that sometimes when you look at who's willing to put that extra work in, because now we're taking away that individual. When coach breaks it down and the horn goes off, and I'm just using his name as an example, does Tyler Guyton walk in the building? Or does Tyler Guyton go, hey, Tyler Smith, hey, Tyrus Wheat, come on, bro, let's get some reps in. Let's get a few extra reps in, because we lost our individual period. Which you'll work on some of that stuff in individual. You'll work half line. You'll work one-on-one. You'll work backs blocking. You'll work, DBs, receivers, stuff like that. You work that kind of stuff in those individual periods. So it's one of those things where they just decided that this is more important than that. We have to put an emphasis on that. But on that, the red zone, the short yardage, the third down, all those things, it goes back to what I was saying about if they're working on the red zone and they're calling the same plays that they called before, you're not going to get an enthusiastic group. They want to know that we have a different course of action for when we do get down here. Because they're looking at it and saying, yeah, I can be with you all day long, whether it's technique, whether it's enthusiasm or routes or whatever it is. But boy, I'm tired of running this corner route. And what else do we got? Yeah. Do we got anything else? Give us something else so that we can look at it and go, all right, I can get with this. This right here will give us an opportunity to actually win in the red zone or in the open field. Are we running the same old curl routes, the same old hitch routes, the same old slants? Or have you went into your bag and found another game plan that's going to give us a chance? Because make no mistake about it, those who have been here long enough know the challenge that's coming up on Sunday night. And they're saying, boy, if you're bringing that same game that playing that we did had against those guys the last couple years, it's going to get, it could possibly get real ugly on Sunday night. So they're looking for something else that gives them a little bit more enthusiasm about what they're doing offensively and defensively.
I like it conceptually. I mean, it sounds good conceptually. Now, does it translate? You've had problems lining up. You've had problems with assignments. You've heard the guys talk about do what you're supposed to do. At least it sounds. Now, in a group setting like that, if you're working more team drills, does that help when you don't do what you're supposed to do and other guys are able to hold you accountable?
No, you always got to do what you're supposed to do. It all works in unity. You always, if I know y'all can imagine, if I'm the speed guy and I got to clear out the deep 1/3 for Jesse to come underneath, and I got to take that safety because I got that 4.2 speed, and I come jogging off the line, and then all of a sudden take off, and that safety sitting there looking, and now he can cover two guys, the guy that's coming over the top and the guy underneath. Now it's an interception. That's on me. And now Jesse looking at me like, now he ain't want to point me out on the field. Like, guys don't point folks out on the field.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. And like, man, if you'd have just went on and ran, I could have came underneath and made this play. Yeah. These guys got to start caring about one another, man. It seemed like you got a bunch of guys just out there playing as individuals, and you can't play like that.
53 brands.
Let's talk about you brought up actually the receiver position. Troy Aikman had some things to say about the receiver position, so I want to get your feedback.
If Troy said
that.
it,
you behind us. Well, you played with Troy, you play the position, so I want to get y'all's take on it. I think that's going to be really interesting. And also brought up red zone a couple of times. Let's talk about the red zone woes, and then your next 5 games are all against playoff contenders right now.
Woo, tough stretch.
But you know what? Them Boombox boys are a little beat up. So if you're going to play them, this is probably a good week to play them, coming in refreshed. And if you get wiped out, then we're just canceling the show the rest of the year. So ain't nothing else to talk about. All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, more good stuff on Hanging with the Boys.
How's Wingstop sound?
Crispy, juicy classic wings, sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
This is Nate Newton from Hanging with the Boys, and Wingstop is here to bring the flavor to game day as the official wings of the Dallas Cowboys. Order now by downloading the Wingstop app or ordering online at wingstop.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, a 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Cowboys football games or to any other live event, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle?
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks, home or away, we rally together. We cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the second segment of Hanging with the Boys, brought to you each and every day by blockchain.com. Thanks, blockchain.com. 7-Eleven, we'll get to you next break because I forgot to pull the reads out from the counter. So
Text 711-711.
there you go. That's 7-Eleven to...
Pump 8.
No, you got to text.
Pump 8, 3 pumps.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll do it in the next break. All right. Good stuff in the first segment, which leads to some other questions. So let's get to this. Troy, your guy Troy, and your position, wide receiver. Troy had some scathing remarks last Thursday. He said, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, I think their routes are terrible. I see guys lazy coming off the line, implying that if they're not getting the ball, they don't really care and they give up on routes and are not vested in selling a route or getting guys out of the play. Is that true? And if it's true, can you fix that? Or is that your teammates holding you accountable? Is that just how do you fix that?
You just raise your finger to go first.
No,
Twice.
But he asked the right question. He asked no. I was thinking he may not ask the right question. So I was he asked the right questions, baby. Yeah. I'm sorry I threw y'all.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
I'm like, I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah,
and process
but I
some
did
things.
this right here. I'm like,
You were like, I got it. I'm like,
that kid in kindergarten.
yeah, but he asked the right question, man.
Yeah, little Nate.
What do y'all do as wide receivers, man, when you see – because, okay, do that happen with this team? Have you seen what Troy's seen, a little bit of it, a lot of it? And what do you do as a receiver?
yes. Okay. The answer is yes. That guys aren't running when they're supposed to be running full.
A lot every once in a while.
Enough.
What do you see?
Enough.
Enough to make a difference.
When you're sitting where you're sitting right now, you have zero margin for error. Right. So once is too much. Twice is way too much. 3 times.
And it's probably contagious, right?
100% is contagious.
You see it on film, you're like, well, if he ain't running,
if I see 88 can do it, guess what happens, guys?
I ain't doing it.
I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
That's leadership, right? That's what you talk about.
That's how it goes. And I know people can say, well, you ain't 88. I understand, cool. But here it is. I also know that the guy behind me ain't 88 either. So who gonna take my spot? Ain't nobody gonna take my spot. I know that for a fact. So if I'm number 2 or I'm number 3, you think I'm worried about 5 and 6? They ain't taking my job. So I'll tend to lead more to what I see my leader do than worry about those guys taking my job. So the answer is yes. The other answer is there is zero accountability on this football team. Zero. So ain't nobody saying nothing to nobody. Wow. Ain't nobody saying nothing to nobody. Clearly, we are 6 games in, and when you hear the same thing, it's a broken record. We hear it from players, the good ones, the average ones, the poor ones. We've heard it from coaches. We had a defensive coordinator. Let the words come out of his mouth that he panicked.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What?
I read that. That kind of got me.
What? Even I panicked?
Yeah.
What? A guy who's been in the league for 20 plus years says that my players sometimes panic, and I got to admit that I panicked in the game? There was zero accountability. So ain't nobody saying nothing to nobody. And that's why the stuff is still happening. Because the guys who you expect to lead and the guys that you expect to be the ones to hold the other ones accountable, they just as bad as them folks. That's the blind leading the blind. So ain't nobody saying nothing to nobody.
How do you fix it? Can you fix it?
I trust me, if I had the answer, wouldn't be sitting here with you guys.
Is it?
How about y'all fix this bitch?
Get it dead right.
I mean, is it as simple as Dak sitting down with the receivers going, look, guys, can't do this?
Let me tell y'all something right now. If y'all think Dak and his star receivers on the same page, I got a beachfront property in Iowa that I would love to sell you.
And when you say on the same page, what do you mean by that? Because that can mean a lot of different things.
You think those two guys are getting along? Huh?
Well, I mean, my eyes tell me what I don't want to believe on Sunday.
Yeah.
They ain't getting along.
Yeah.
And so what you're now forced to deal with is, and you can talk to CeeDee.
And you ain't gonna tell me what to do. Yeah. How many touchdowns have we gotten in the red zone? How many touchdowns do we have? By the way.
But you know what? I'll make Coach come talk to me if I was Dak. And that is what Troy was saying. You're going to have to come talk to me. And that's just how it would be.
Like they won't take it upon themselves to change. They got to have somebody tell them to change.
No, but
is that what you mean?
I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, there was, and sometimes I don't like comparing the times because the times are completely different.
Completely.
There was an emphasis on, like, it mattered whether you won or lost. Like to get blown out the way that the Cowboys in the fashion in which they got blown out, that would have affected some folks. Like, that would have affected some folks. It don't affect these guys. The willingness and want to win ain't the same, guys. When you and I don't, this is not, I'm just using this as an example, but this is the way the world is now. Imagine getting beat at home.
Oh, you about to talk about a podcast, aren't you?
It's not even about the podcast.
It's not.
It's about the fact that you can laugh and joke about what just happened to you.
Publicly.
Yeah. Like, that's the part. The hell, everybody has a podcast. Mm-hmm. But that tells me all I need to know about the team as a whole. It ain't the podcast. I don't care about that. It's the fact that it's comical to you. It's a topic of comedic discussion about how another team seemingly did and toyed with you. And that was okay. That in that era would not have been allowed. Not the podcast stuff, but you ain't, bro, we just got.
Because our podcast back then was radio shows. We all had radio shows. And
like,
some of us had TV shows.
Like what you
Can you imagine back in your era somebody joking about that? walking back in that locker room.
Because guys would have been like
3 or 4 knots upside your head.
Easily. Like, you would have caused a fight.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean about there is no accountability on this football team. And I don't want to compare them to those 90s teams.
Do you think the league has changed so much?
Yes.
That's the status quo across the league? Or is there accountability on any teams?
No. There are some accountability on teams, but it's a culture thing, right? Like it is a culture thing. Like in other places, you go out there and you whiff on tackles like that, you don't play. But give a damn who you are. Because the culture has been set that way.
It's not necessarily with the players holding each other accountable. It's you don't play if you don't.
You don't play. Like you don't play. You know what I'm saying? Or then you have those locker rooms that players will hold you accountable.
Ravens. The Ravens. I know this to be true. Ain't the right people told me this. The Ravens. Oh yeah, you gonna be held accountable. But back to what I was saying. I'm the quarterback. I determine whether you get that ball or not. You're gonna run the right route.
And you know what CD's saying right now?
You're going to run the right route.
Or what?
You won't get the ball.
Who you going to throw it to?
I'm throwing it to Tobe.
Good luck.
I ain't getting the ball now.
Good luck. You see what I'm saying?
The thing about it, the coach got to come talk to me.
That's the attitude.
The coach.
This is the attitude that you deal with now with these younger players.
I just remember so clearly, like we was at Valley Ranch. And this was in our bad years. This was when things was haywire. And Coach Johnson, and I've told y'all this before, he said, "Did you run the right route?" Troy won't say something. When Jimmy talked, he just, wrong route. Next guy dropped the ball. Next guy ran the wrong route. Jimmy looked at the wide receiver coach, which was Hubbard Alexander. He says, "Ax, these boys need to know the routes." Now, he put the coach on blast, too. These boys need to know the routes. And if they can't learn the routes, I need to know, Troy, keep throwing the ball right where you throwing it. I'll fix this. But we had a whole new receiver set. I understand who CeeDee is. And ain't nobody fault for CeeDee like me. But I promise you, if I was Dak, I would throw the ball to the guy that's at least trying to get where I need him to get.
But that's the problem. They aren't getting where this is why we are here today.
Brother,
right? But
that's why you notice it was a coach involved. Whoever the head coach is, who is the play caller, he need to get with his guy. If this is what Troy and you say, even if it happened once, it's wrong.
It's wrong.
So you have to. You have to.
But let me also say this.
Yes.
Let me also say, and this is not me putting on the cape for CD, because if and when CD does do those things, he's wrong. But as a receiver, here's where the frustration lies. And you might hear guys say it every now and again. I'm just out here running cardio. I'm out here doing cardio. Because when I break the huddle, ready, and I line up, I know my route, I look at the covers and I go,
this is my ball.
No, you go, man, here we go run. This is not gonna work.
Okay.
This is not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Even if I run the perfect route, he's not throwing it to me because the coverage, and there's no way you can get the ball
keep
there.
calling the same basic stuff. There's nothing in our offense that's creative enough to get me open. I line up out here and I'm gonna sit and duck. Yeah. So now I'm either gonna have to go in there and make a miraculous catch, get my head knocked off, or the ball ain't even coming to me because I got a curl route and they're in cover 2.
Yeah, but isn't that on him then to still run his route properly? So
right, that's what I'm saying. Right, I'm not saying when he doesn't run his route fully, he's
right.
Not at fault. But I'm also saying where the frustration lies in these receivers, especially your number one receiver, is when you consistently line up over and over and over and over and over again, and nothing is giving you a true chance to be a part of this thing in a dominant fashion. That's where his frustration comes in, and that's when you see a guy run a route and the ball get intercepted, and he like, man, I ain't fighting for that. They get it, because you should never call this dumb play.
But now, let's go a step further. with the top quarterbacks, which is Dak, top receiver, which is CeeDee Lamb, I hear and I see every quarterback of that ilk has special things they do for their receiver, and their receiver do special. And you have to work together for this to happen. And we heard about it all yesterday with this kid with the
Devontae.
Jets. We hear about it. And even announcers, see right here when they ran this, right here when they ran this, this is what they got him. They can't work that out. When you are so selfish that you can't get with your man, your quarterback, or your wide receiver, or the second team wide receiver, or the third, and work something out. What is McCarthy gonna do today? Hey, Dak, you threw the wrong pass. I know it was a completion, but you threw the wrong pass. What are he gonna do? He ain't doing nothing now. He ain't gonna do nothing if Dak do what he want to do. Man, make this thing work.
No, I'm with you. But I think about Michael Irvin. If him and Troy wasn't on the same page, Mike, because he wants the ball, is going to be man enough to go to Troy and say, "Hey, bro,
what I got to do to get me the ball?
What do you want from me? Yeah. What do you want? Because I need to get this pill.
Right.
What do you want from me?
Right.
Let's work on this a little bit more. We're not leaving until we figure this out." Yeah. But that's the difference. That is the difference between.
Yeah. And now it feels kind of like, well, he won't throw me the ball. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. He go his way. I'm going home to my family. CZ, I'm going home to my family. I'll see y'all when time to show up for work on tomorrow.
Because this thing is predicated. The run game is predicated off of CD. The passing game is predicated off of CD. Everything is based off of him, because once they get him doing what he's doing, which is virtually nothing in the second half, now you can put the number one coin on the second guy. That's the end of the story, and that's what's been happening. We have no running game because, number one, our offensive line is still trying to find themselves. But if CD was breaking people back out there, that running game will open up just a tidbit.
Detroit told you all you need to know last week.
Yeah.
Detroit said, our game plan was take 88 out the picture. We'll deal with anybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. What nobody else to deal with, was it?
and it's like Jason, like Ferguson. Is he still in the pandemic mode? Is he got COVID? What's wrong with him? I mean, is he got chicken pox, measles? Why you can't throw him the ball?
Yeah, he's not doing near what he's done in the past. That's
man. This is weird, and I'm not gonna call, but I'm 2 games away from Michael from Pittsburgh. I promise you. I'm riding with you, coach. I'm riding with you, coach. I'm also riding with Dak. Come on, Dak.
All right, let's take our last break. When we come back, I'll get to that 7-Eleven read and some stats when we come out of the break on Hanging with the Boys.
The stats.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings, sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
This is Nate Newton from Hanging with the Boys, and Wingstop is here to bring the flavor to game day as the official wings of the Dallas Cowboys. Order now by downloading the Wingstop app or ordering online at wingstop.com.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Fall is here, and that means football is back, bringing all the delicious game day foods with it. As you prep for all the big games, tailgates, and watch parties, let Yo Quiero be your one-stop destination for all things home gating. Yo Quiero's fresh, flavorful, ready-to-serve guacamole, made with real Hass avocados, will score taste bud touchdowns as you cheer on the Cowboys. Yo Quiero's wide range of mouthwatering and versatile products can be found in your local grocery store's produce or deli section. Grab some today.
today. Hey, Cowboys fans, a 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Cowboys football games or to any other live event, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Welcome back to the final segment of Hanging with the Boys, brought to you each and every day by Jigsaw, the proud dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Kurt!
Yes.
We back.
Yes.
In Cowboys Nation, we're going to let you know about 7-Eleven and how to get to this Bengals game. Get ready for the ultimate game day experience. Thanks to 7-Eleven, you can win a VIP experience to the Cowboys versus Bengals showdown on December the 9th. Just text Cowboys VIP. That's where we went wrong, Jesse. Text Cowboys VIP to 711-711. That's 711-711, Josh, for your chance to win premium tickets, sideline passes, travel, and more. Don't miss out. Enter now. No purchase necessary. Ends on 11/20. Must be 18 or older in the USDC. Void where prohibited. Message and data rates may apply. Visit bit.ly/go711711 for full details and non-text entry.
The Ravens at one point was like 1-2 or 1-3 or something.
0-2.
0-2.
Started, yeah.
Now they 4-2.
0-2. Who'd they play that third game? Who got them right?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Go Cowboys!
You know what, man? and the thing about it,
Drugstore.
this is what make. Thank you. Say it again. I don't want to say it.
Drugstore came to town. Or they came to the, they came to the drive-through.
Yeah.
Drove through Albertsons, Tom
Yeah.
drive-through.
And they
So-
got low. They got low.
Oh man.
Moving some guys off the ball.
Your next 5 games are all versus playoff contenders. 3 of these are on the road. So I would say, anything can happen in the NFL, right? But I think these next 3 to 5 games are your season, right? Because you're right in the middle of the mix and you can affect the standings and the playoffs. And if you don't come through this on the other side at least 500 or better, you're probably done, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is it. What's the
It's
next?
not even that, even if you're 500, I mean, against those teams, that wouldn't be too bad, but you got to start, like we're already saying, guys, are they going to stay involved? Or do you start losing the whole team and just snowballs downhill?
And how you lose matters, right? Like that plays a significant part on what's happening. Because if you go to Santa Clara now, hey y'all, if you go to Santa Clara next week and they hang 30 up on you, right? They hang 25, 30 up on you. God forbid it's more than that.
At San Fran, at Atlanta, at home versus Philly, at home versus Houston, at Washington, and then
tomorrow.
And then the drugstore comes to town.
So tomorrow, let's just bring your little sheet back and let's see where we were in picking these games.
We did that.
And let's pick some
we
new
did that
ones.
last
But you know
year.
what? It
wasn't good.
I think 3-3 is somewhere where we probably had them at this point.
Yeah,
right.
Somewhere 3-3 or
Right.
4-2 or
It just
something like that.
wasn't as
It's
ugly.
the blowouts.
Yeah. It wasn't
It's
as
that
ugly.
you're not even standing a chance against the losses that you had. And I get the Baltimore, game was different at the end, but that game was
out of hand.
It was a rout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's going to be significant. And starting this week, another primetime game, Sunday Night Football. Ain't nothing else on TV. It's you and the world. It is you and the world. Like we used to call that my mama watching game. Mm-hmm. Like that ain't that. Church is over. Sunday dinner is done. You done ran your errands. You done got a nap. The guys done done their honey-do list.
All the other teams are at home, laid
They
up on the
chilling.
couch, watching.
And I'm like you, just I ain't never been wrong. How you say if this, how you say
Right.
If we turn on the TV or we turn on social media, then a certain guy said,
If Stephen A. If Stephen A.
Yeah.
Blows.
Yeah. If Stephen A.
I turned that on. I'm like, this is a Jesse. This got to be a Jesse. So from now on, can we get that, Chris? Can we get
Stephen A.
that?
laugh?
Yeah, can we get the Stephen A. laugh? So what Jesse do? The Cowboys.
But this is,
I guess.
yeah, I guess. But this is another one of those games where you want to see Jerry will be on the radio tomorrow with Sean and RJ. But if you want to see him,
Is that the first time?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's gonna be interesting.
Tune in tomorrow.
Yeah.
What time is that in the morning?
8:30,
8:30?
10:30.
I try not to hear that.
But if you want to see Mr. Jones 38 hot, lose again on national television in front of the world and embarrassing.
Fish grease hot.
If you get blown out at home on national television, there's no telling what might happen.
If you lose these
Monday.
next two games, if you get blown out Sunday night and then lose against Atlanta the next week, however you lose against Atlanta, shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them. It's going to be a shake up around
that
here.
Atlanta game, that's the one you're going to need.
Yeah.
Because the teams around you before and after
Yeah.
are pretty tough.
Before we get out of here, what would you like to see on the field different this week than we've seen the first 6 weeks? Nate?
Players.
A win.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
My bad.
Like you just said, besides some healthy players maybe coming back, I just would like to see just 60 minutes of effort. I would like, y'all, 16-0. We do the paper 16-0, but y'all know how I feel. This is a soft rebuild, fellas. You got too many older guys and too many young guys to have a successful team. I just believe that. And our older guys are either hurt or not playing well. And our young guys are learning. So this is about where it should be. And this thing, that's why I say bring in your papers, because we might be – this thing can get ugly if we don't hurry up and turn it around.
What would you, as a player, you talked about before the bye week, you needed to see something to give you some confidence and not see the same old thing. What do you need as a player?
Motion.
That's what I would say.
Just
like there needs to be a significant difference in what we're doing schematically. I need to see it immediately. I need to know that you spent your week giving us the best opportunity to win. Because you're getting ready to see a supreme coach. Like the Niners are reeling, right? But you're getting ready to see Kyle Shanahan put together a plan that's probably going to smoke y'all. Most likely.
Nah, it's y'all. It used to be us.
Oh, good observation.
I almost said something, but then I was like,
good observation.
I almost said something. I'm like, I ain't. Well, anyway. That's what I need to see. I need to see a different. I need to know when we come out here in this game plan, it looks different. It sounds different. The play calling is different. We got some pizzazz, some spirit fingers. Something's going on that's different than what we left with. Like, that's what I need to see. Defensively, same thing. Of course, you're going to get, from what they're saying right now, Micah is looking like he's going to be back. They don't know about Kendricks, and they're still unsure, which is really weird about Deron Bland. Like, they're like, well, maybe.
I'm glad.
And I'm like,
I'm glad.
We're like 2 months in now. Like we're like, you said 4 to 6 weeks, and then you propped him up like he was going to play last week. Had him talk to them, like everything was like he was going to play. It was in the Detroit game, he may play sparingly. Now you're saying you don't know if you might have him for this game. Like I don't know.
There's very few injuries these days that put
Keep a
you
timeline?
out past
The timeline.
Yeah, like 6 weeks is about it, unless it's a season-ending type, something. Isn't that crazy how technology and medicine's advanced so much?
To the point where they don't know when they're really coming back.
There's a show that I started binge watching on Netflix. If you like pirates, it's a 4-season series, and this show reminds me. It's called Black Sails, and this show reminds me of it because the main characters, they're all super loyal to like the pirate. If you know anything about pirates, they were very democratic. They put everything up for a vote, but the main characters are the captains of these different ships. And damn near every episode, their loyalty changes to what fits their agenda. But then they always go back and they're loyal to each other. And at the in the end of the episode or whatever, they're all still doing what's best for the the program. That's like this show. The agenda switched so much, and the loyalty, but at the end
I'd
of the
be
day,
like this team.
Come on,
I don't know how loyal you
Trying to keep
receive
it in his room. Trying to keep it in his room, Kurt. Well, fellas, good stuff.
Key word for the day is motion.
Motion. Kurt,
Because that way Jesse can
Jesse
start
good
calling
seeing you.
Coach back freaky.
Michael from Pittsburgh.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yes.
The Pirates.
The Pirates.
Black Sail.
Chris,
The
thanks for
next thing he'll be doing is walking a plank.
Chris, thanks for keeping
Zim
us on
could
the
be
air.
behind him.
Josh and Jazz, thanks for keeping them company. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place on Hanging with the Boys.
We out!
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!